What's up, guys? It's the Bad Wolf, and okay, thanks. It's the Bad Wolf. What's up? What's up? What's up? All right, so check it out. Okay, before I even get into all of it, I just want to say thank you to all of the people that just to all the people that have supported me over the years. We are right around what 86, almost 87,000 active, caring, sending me wishes, gifts, blessings, prayers, subscribers, viewers, all that. All right. And the Wolf Pack is doing very well. And yes, I do see you guys. I see some of you guys have joined, and I see the people who have left and rejoined. So thank you guys for all that. It means a lot to see that somebody was probably themselves struggling a little bit and then canceled and then came back onto it. So I will always and continue to try to give you guys extra content in there just for you guys. Um, Thank you to the people that support me on my new YouTube channel, okay, which is a conglomeration of the two other channels into one. Formerly known as the Bad Wolf Media Channel, is now known as Bad Wolf Unrestricted. And I talk about everything, all right, how I really feel about this, that, the other stuff I know, things I've experienced, some of which you guys are not going to believe. I don't know, I just had a crazy life, but definitely not a wildly successful, rich, world traveled life. That just wasn't in the cards. Maybe it is later, I don't know. Um, but thank you for supporting. Now, there's also the private paid streaming service and page that I have, which is just jamesclovett.com. You can go over there, download all the videos. I've added new videos to that, other things that I've remembered over the years that I just kind of stored in the back. And these are some of the things, the private stuff that they don't really want on YouTube, or the videos that got pulled down, putting them over there. All right. So with that being said, thank you guys. And also thank you, Ramen, my number one supporter with the donation. The donations have been a little low and light. In all honesty, I probably get less than six or seven at the most. But that money, no matter what it is, really helps me, and I really appreciate it. It allows me to buy more books. So you can see I've added some to the collection over here, and I'm not that way. Let's see here. So you guys, like I said, don't mind the stuff on the floor. But yes, so these are some of the new books, including where is it? Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Let me see if I can, that green one right there. Okay. That one is the official book on child support. That is their legal guide. So I'll be learning more about that, even though we've already beaten it a number of times now, and people have thanked me for that. Um, If you see anybody using any of my materials or calling me out of my name, defaming me, use that button over there to report them for bullying, slander, and defamation of character, which is a suable offense. And to all the haters and hater agencies and police officers and other people, put thumbs down. Probably my girl's ex-boyfriend or boyfriends or one of my exes. I don't give a. The truth goes on. The bell has been rung, and that which has been heard cannot be unheard. So sorry if you don't like my some of my content. Get your YouTube channel up, get really big, and then talk about me on there, because then your people will come to my channel and check me out and help me to grow. Because that's usually what happens. I mean, half of my consultations are people from doing other people's processes the wrong way, getting into trouble, losing their house, losing their car, getting arrested. I won't tell you guys which ones they are out there. I'm not saying all are bad by no means. I'm just saying you need to be careful with some of these people's processes that they're not doing for themselves. I, anyway, I digress. Let's get to it. You guys didn't come here for all that. And our channel is not about all that. So today, my good, how shall we say, good deed of the day is actually there's a spot outside my house where some girls get on the bus in the morning. They walk across my lawn, which I don't really care. It's okay. It's just grass. And But they don't have anywhere to sit. So I went and bought and built them a country style bench so that they can sit on it. And then I talked to their mom and I told their mom that I said, you guys went to school with my son until he was kidnapped because she had asked where he was. So I told her that. And I told her that if they ever need to sit on my porch or I'm putting this out here for them, that this is a safe place. They would be safe here. All right. So as a man, you need to do the right thing. Okay. With that being said, let's get into it. So as I was doing a consultation today, getting blown up as usual. Oh, somebody sent me a consult. Looks like on Venmo or something or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'll check it all out later. Okay. As I was doing a consultation today, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Well, just thank you guys seriously for thank you for appreciating what years of work I put into this and that I'm sharing this and that this has changed the life of hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, Black Site 32 alone gets 500,000 viewers, people who come through. I really didn't think it was getting that much viewage. Crazy. I've also added a new take action page on there. So for people with good charities and things of that nature, um, I can put your link up there depending on what it is. Obviously, I have to verify it, make sure it's just not something, to benefit just you cuz. But if it is something where it is a major catastrophe or whatever else, I would still probably put something up if it means like you lost your whole with pictures and proof obviously that you lost your stuff. I might put it up, but generally it's for bigger causes because there's a lot of local causes that can help you out with those things. And I've made videos where you guys can look for resources and I taught you guys how to search in your area, including contacting your city secretary and just asking them what programs do you guys have available for this and this. So use those, use foundations, use local charities, contact churches if you need any of that. Otherwise, Black Site 32 does have some of that information and resources there. And of course, we've got the free files page 1 and 2. All right. Now, without further ado, if you haven't hit that bell, like and subscribe, hit it, and welcome to the tribe. Let's get going. So as I was doing a consultation today, I went on Department of State's website and noticed that they, unless I was wrong, which we're going to double check right here, updated the passport, the DS-11. Now, mind you, maybe you guys should take up my cause because apparently it's not working for me. I will let the dog or cat out of the bag. I was trying to do a FOIA request on my passport, the original one that showed the on number 11 on page 2 back in 96. I think it was from like 93 to 99 or 2000. If you guys can do a FOIA request or you have an old school 93, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 old DS-11, this is the wolf sending a shout out into the masses that depicts number 11. And I don't want a deep fake, okay, because people already tried to send me that. Probably it's some three-letter agency agent who's a traitor to the United States or whatever. I know how to research to make sure it's not a deep fake. All right. I know what the ones look like all the way down to the fine print. All right. But if you guys can do a FOIA request and get one from that year, I will put it on the show. Otherwise, if you guys have one, even if you messed up on there, if you can still see number 11 where it actually states, are you a U.S. citizen or a state citizen? If you have that, send it to me, email, make a copy. I will need the first and back pages, things like that, to make sure that I can vet that it's the proper one and not a deep fake. Because once again, someone's already tried that. So that's what I was working on for the big surprise for you guys. But it's been like 3 years. They're not sending it. They know what I would use it for. I know they have it somewhere. I do have a plan B that I'm going to put into place, but obviously I don't want to give it out here because I know that they watch my videos. Now, some of them are good and they are on our side. So I don't understand. So, Department of State, let's cut the malarkey, shall we? I know you guys watch it. I know your legal department watches it. I know certain other people watch it too. Okay. Some of your people who are real Americans have reached out and told me things that I'm allowed to know. Nothing that's national security. We don't do that here. I don't even want any of that stuff. Just the stuff that we as Americans are supposed to and are entitled to have. Send me, because see, I know you guys already listened because you guys fixed numerous specific points that I mentioned in your your foreign affairs manual, your passport application, and your website and stuff like that. You guys have done it. So thank you for doing a great job. So as a American, I'm requesting from you because I know you guys watch these videos, and that's cool because you guys are learning. You guys aren't the only ones out there in the government who watch my videos. So thank you to the good ones out there. Send me, you guys know my address. Hell, you guys probably could tell me the temperature of my ass in this chair if you really wanted to. Send me a copy of that. The 1990, late 90s DS-11, the original one with the state citizen option where you just had to check it off. Not, it shouldn't be a big deal. If you guys are American, you are American, aren't you? Aren't you? I mean, passport does say United States of America. So as an American, we the people who stand with and over the Constitution, I'm requesting that document formally in the public. Now, moving on. So, though there haven't been any major changes to the same process, let's just go over the passport process real quick for new people, showing you what's on there now, how we deal with these questions so that you guys can be informed. Once again, this is always, and as always, education and entertainment purposes only. These are my personal experiences. Yours may vary. Do your own research, even with mine, and especially with a lot of others out there. Not everybody's your friend, as my mom used to say, God rest her soul. So we're going to dedicate this video to my mother, Ella Marie. Rest in peace or garden in heaven. All right. So with that being said, we're going to talk about the passport. And specifically, it's going to be about how to fill out the DS-11. Hopefully, everybody is doing good out there. Once again, join me on my other YouTube channel, the Badwolf Unrestricted. Okay. Okay. So just so you guys, can see what I'm doing here, I'm gonna share the screen. I hope it doesn't show any of my private pics. Just kidding. Those are on my Only Jameses. Okay. Yeah, subscribe to my Only James. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have that. And I really don't think most people should have that. But hey, if that's how you have to make money, do what you got to do. But I believe that you are more than just your body for visual pleasures. All right. So, but if that's what you have to do to survive, do what you got to do. I'm not mad at you. All right. So you guys should be able to see my screen. And we are at the Department of State. So, hello, Department of State. Thank you for making your forms available. Though I will say, I noticed that you guys are missing some forms online, but we'll leave that alone for now. We're going to focus and we're going to go to the DS-11, U.S. passport, PDF. Okay, so let's ambiguify it. It's not really a word, but I'm using it here. So, okay, can read through. They've modified, I think, some of the words in here. All right. So starting here at the top, decide if you want the U.S. book, the card, or both. Okay. So they've got a regular book and then they've got the large one. So if you do a lot of traveling, you want to check off the large one. Otherwise, generally just boom, boom, or both. If you want just the book, then you go like that. Okay. Keep in mind that they put the boxes here. The boxes represent this whole section here is really for the legal person. Okay. On the other page over here, you notice how there's open boxes. This is for the national, organic. All right. Just so you guys understand. So up here, you're just going to go, let's see, we're just kind of, all right. And if you really want to be technical, you don't have to. You can put it in lowercase. I like to. All right. Over here, all we do for the END is for endorsement. This is not end. Okay. This is endorsement. So this is where you're supposed to put the endorsement code. Do not check off one of the boxes. Do not put anything in this rectangular box. Do not put any expiration date, though normally it's 10 years. Do not do anything other than put 09. This is for the passport endorsement code as a national. Okay. Now let's go ahead and prove it before moving on. Okay, so 8 FAM 505.2. Just make sure you can see this particular screen. Sometimes it doesn't jump screens. Okay, yeah, it is here with me. So here, foreign affairs, passport endorsements. You can read through these. I don't recommend using any of these other ones for the most part because it says use only when authorized by the CAPPT SIA, okay, which is the passport special, the people who encode your cards, okay, that's for them. And if they see something stupid, they're going to ignore it. All right, so you might as well not even bother. But if we go down to what we can use, okay, which is the 09. Okay, so right here, passport endorsement, END. So here's the end number. So it's endorsement number 09. We don't need to put all because it just means all types of passports. So thank you, Department of State, for updating it and clarifying that. Now, if you read through this top section up here, it basically tells you that you either need an officially stamped or printed indication of the circumstance under which the passport was issued or can be used. All right, so if you go through all this, they basically tell you you must use the specific endorsement. Okay, and here's the thing about the law. If it doesn't say that you can't, like all these other ones say, use only when authorized. So these are saying you can't. But number 8 and number 9, though we focus on number 9, 8 is if you're going to use a different name. I'm still working on learning all the ins and outs of that. So number 9 is what we use. This is what the stamped or printed information you can put, you can get stamped, or you can make a stamp and put on your endorsement page. It does not anywhere in here say use, like down here in the next code, use only when authorized. It doesn't say that in these. We have the right to make our own determination of who we are and present that as the living man or woman, as a national, a Native American national. So the Department of State refers to us, and I know there's some people who watch my videos who don't like the government calling us U.S. nationals. I get it. But that's what we are in their book. That is the equivalent to just us calling ourselves nationals or state citizens. It is. There's only two main types in that category, U.S. national or U.S. citizen. So like it, love it, or leave it. That's what it is. You don't like it, don't get the passport. Get the craptastic, yes, that's my word, craptastic, uh, normal ID with the little baby star on there. Stars don't mean anything, but yet they add a star on your driver's license so you can fly. Huh. Stars don't mean nothing, simple ass simpletons out there. So this is the code. This is what it's supposed to look like. The only thing I'm not sure about is if it's supposed to be boxed like this or just the typed lettering. I would assume just the typed lettering, but I'm sure that's not going to stop them from accepting it. Okay, so once you get it, you have the right in your book. You can't do it with the card because the card you can't alter, but the book you have the right to alter, which probably has something to do with why they've changed their internal process that they don't give you the same amount of stars in the book and card generally. Sometimes they do, but they've done something different. We don't know what that is at this point in time. And I'm pretty sure it's considered national security. So, because hence the word national security. So they protect us. So they're definitely not going to just hand that information out willy nilly. Okay. Okay. So A, as an option under this endorsement, says placed in a passport book issued to a non-citizen U.S. national. Now we know there's something called a hold on. Well, I guess let's just focus on this first. So this is the full terminology or one of the terminologies that they use for us. But here they say U.S. national. We are also regarded and fall underneath the heading non-citizen U.S. national. Why? Because the word non-citizen cancels and leaves what? Just the words U.S. national. Just like in math, this cancels. If you're not a citizen, what's the opposite of being a citizen? A national. So you're not a citizen, but you're a U.S. national. These are the same things. Now, B, U.S. national will be printed instead of USA on the front of the passport card. They don't do this. They are supposed to. They do not. It says it right here. And they updated it in April, so this all is recent. But apparently they have not. I don't know. They just don't do this. All right. So prior to the creation of this endorsement in 92. So before 92, what did I say? 93? Something like that, right? So that means there was no endorsement for this in 92. Everything before that was just you were a national by getting your passport. Then in 93, they activated so you could check off national or US citizen. Then somewhere around 99 or 2000, they got rid of that, somewhere in there. So, but it says before that, the bearer status as a non-citizen US national was indicated by circling the word national. So we now know that the word national means the same thing as non-citizen U.S. national, which means the same thing as United States national or U.S. nationals. They're all the same thing. However, there is another type of national, and I will show you that too. So this was done by circling the word national or crossing out the word citizen in the secretary's message on the signature page of your U.S. passport. Cut the camera. So for the guys and people out there of the newer ones, hear that? This is the laminated secretary's page. You can't cross out citizen. You can't circle national on there. Convenient that it's now laminated. Kind of like they don't want you to do it. So, but one of your other methods, I'm not going to show you my inside of my book. I'll use one of my de facto, no longer good or relevant books. So here's one of the old ones where on the paper page, you can see that little line. That's me crossing out citizen and leaving the word national of the United States. I could have circled it, so it's one or the other. This is how it was done. This is all you had to do to be a national. Your book comes with both as an option. You can declare yourself one or the other with your book. Now, this is an old one, and you can tell because when they invalidate your book, they put two holes in it. Now, if you slide all the way back in the old books, that book, it's right in the first page, but I'm not going to show you all my numbers and stuff. But if you go back in these old ones, there's a endorsement page right back here. Okay. Now, judging by the fact that they put this expires on March 16, 2022, and it is not boxed in, I would assume that with the same typecast, this is where you can put your endorsement code. All right. I would probably assume that it's supposed to be, um, what is this? Landscape, meaning the long way. If you guys don't know, generally landscape is considered American because we're on the land. The long run and the short rise, this is landscape. This is portrait. This is what the U.S. corporation does. They put it landscape. Now, but also there's pages in here that are, portrait, blah, blah, blah. That's just how it works. Because remember, it's kind of a mix of what they've got going on there. But everything else is landscaped. Okay, this is America. America's on a real land, so they landscape everything. That's why some of your certificates of whatever are in landscape form. That's America. But America is really emergence of U.S. Corp, and which is why America has gone Hague with their paperwork, which I don't think they ever should have done. Um, but it is what it is. Got to slowly take over some kind of way, right? Especially if you Americans don't know your rights. So that's the passport. That is the how to do the national, the old way, and most updated. Now let's get back to filling out the DS-11. Once again, we're going to jump over there, but like I said, I'm not going to keep making tons of videos on this because we've already done it. So, but because they did change the application, I'm going to try to keep you guys updated. So once again, now you understand the END is endorsement. This is why you can put this here. If they give you any problems, I would suggest you print out the endorsement page and bring it with. You don't have to put it in with your paperwork, which, speaking of optional paperwork, your explanatory statement, you can either make yourself, you can get one from me or somebody else, and you can add that to this. If they tell you, oh, we can't accept that, you're going to point out that down here, it says, unless an explanatory statement is attached, but do not call your explanatory statement an affidavit. The American area in the passport department does not like the word affidavit. That's for courts. Corporate US BS. They don't want it. Okay, so put your date here, birth date, your date of nativity. Okay, male. I think the newer ones even have like an option for other or whatever else. So here we're going to put the city and the country. So we'll just say Madison. I guess I could type this in, right? Or whatever. And then we're going to go USA. Okay. Just because we don't know what US they're talking about right here, even though usually dot dot is, the entity, but you're just saying. Okay. So, social security number here. If you want, you can put brackets or you can box it. Essentially means you're doing it under protest, four corners rule. It's there, but I'm doing it only because you're basically forcing me to. Now, what's interesting is now six, okay, they have what's known as a U.S.CIS registration number, if applicable. So this is for people who have naturalized to put their number here. This is new. Email. This is in case they want to contact you. This is optional. Emails are generally considered to be, Bob Pokaschwinski at yahoo.com, commercial, public. So if I was going to do this, I would maybe use like an EDU one. But at the end of the day, are they going to be like, oh, he used a .com, so make him a citizen? No, but just letting you guys know. So for me, this is optional. You can put it down there or not. Generally, they're not going to contact you, but I like to try to make sure I have nothing that's going to indicate that I'm a U.S. citizen. Minimize that as much as possible is the name of the game. So here you can use your street address, but this is where they're going to mail your stuff. So put your real address here. And then because we don't want them to construe the address as this is where I live, but this is just where I receive mail. And if that is your real scenario, then obviously this is perfect for you. Understand that if you have a name, okay, so let's say my name is Badwolf, and I want to start to use that so that I can eventually contact the Department of State or whoever else and have them recognize my name to do a name change on my passport. Because remember, what did I tell you guys? The idea is to be able to get your name changed on your passport without going to the courts and doing a name change, which they're supposed to let you do. It starts by you doing a common law name change, which is done right here. So I put care of Bad Wolf. This is who they're going to mail it to. My real address up here, the name I'm going by. Now, if you just want to use your normal name, you're not trying to change your name in the future, you don't want to separate the straw man, etc., then don't worry about it. But it's how you begin to do a common law name change. They want to see proof that you're using this particular name damn near exclusively before they're going to accept it on your passport to change it. Now, they say if you keep using this name for 5 years or more, and you can show proof of that, they will accept your private name, your common law name, your faith name, spiritual name, as your real name with the government and start to communicate with you and allow you to change your passport to this name. This is the path, not to the dark side. This is the path to separating the straw man, okay, from the living man. City, you put your real city in here. State, put your state. So let's say, I don't know, for Arkansas, I think there's what, AR? Okay, something like that. Now, normally I would tell you guys to use the 3-digit abbreviation. If you want to put ARK here, that's fine. They're not going to be too thrilled, but they'll accept it. And the three-letter abbreviation is for the Republic. And then you're going to put the real zip code here. Once again, if you want to block this or just put the brackets on the end, fine. And then here, USA, or you can just write in America. Contact phone number, optional. Names you've used if you've been married or you've done a legal name change, or like me, you're working on learning how to just do a name change over 5 years. You would put your old name here. So for me, I would put James. Love it. Okay. If I did do that, then up here I would put my private name. That's what I want it done as. Here's the name, other names that I've used. Like it says here, previous marriage. So they want your old names here, your new one up here. That's it. Touch nothing in here, do nothing. Don't be like, oh, I'm gonna put my U.C.C. 1-308. This they don't like. Okay. They don't like you doing this. If you're gonna do this, wait until they tell you to sign it. Okay, which actually this should be up here. Um, when they tell you to sign it, and then you slip it in right here, U.C.C. 1-308. But understand, you don't really need to reserve your rights here because generally you've told them who and what you are up here with the code. This is also good to put on your explanatory statement. Some agents don't like when you do this. And even though the UCC is, well, it's the UCC. So that in itself is not directly American. It's in the American family. All right. That is a U.S. corporation remedy. And you don't need to do it here with America. Though, yes, the department is American and U.S., they have to recognize a U.S. citizen. How can I prove that? Right here? Okay, because it tells you, it says, I am a citizen or non-citizen national of the United States. You have the option of both, but you don't have to put the remedy here to protect yourself. That's how I feel. All right. Um, now we're getting to the national. We can tell this because we've got open boxes. It's organic. You can free flow with your writing. So you can put your last name, your first name, your middle name. Remember, the U.S. citizen is boxed. That's why they have these boxes here. This page is for the national, the state citizen, organic. Some, and I have not done this, have signed off applicant's legal signature. You really should. There should be a way to, there should really, if you ask me, be a spot here to sign for the national. This first page really, they shouldn't have to ask you to put a legal signature here, or there should be another line somewhere that says, your autograph. Okay, if you want to be technical, because a U.S. citizen has a legal signature. And that's what this first page really is, the legal aspect of it. But there should be an option for a non-citizen national to put their autograph. So it should say applicants legal and then and then autograph signature. So applicants legal signature or autograph. And it says 16 or older. Surprised it doesn't say 18, so that's a little weird, but okay. And then maybe even having I don't know, whatever, just something like that. That's what they're supposed to do. But as you can see here, mother, father, parent, legal, guardian, signature. Um, if identifying a minor, both parents can put theirs here. This keeps parents like my POS son's mother, who kidnapped my son, from just putting hers there because she needs mine. And this is one of the reasons why she hasn't been able to leave the country because she needs the father who has legal rights, which are being suppressed right now because the departments and law enforcement aren't taking the action, even though I've mailed them the information on what she's done with the codes of my state. But I digress. Anyway, so leave all of this blank. Don't touch anything in here. Though here it says attach a copy. You can do it yourself. You can get one of these done from the post office or Walgreens or something like that. 2-inch by 2-inch, little space above your head. You can actually staple it here. I like to let them staple it just because that's me. All right. So they would put staple here, staple there, staple here, staple there. Okay. Do it yourself as long as it matches this. Do not wear a white shirt. That is a bad idea. They will deny it. All right. So your date of birth, which is really your date of nativity, mom information or dad's on these two. I like to go city, country. Sex for mom, female, unless it's something different. Dad, male, female for mom, male for dad. And because under 8 U.S.C. 1401, we have both citizenship and nationality. You don't need to write this here. I'm just showing you as an example. We can choose between ourselves or for our parents in this event if we want them to be classified as a U.S. citizen or not. This does not remove their citizenship or do anything to them. You're just saying in this event, they are to be regarded as this or that. One of the reasons why is if you check even yes to mom or dad, by law, they have to make you a U.S. citizen. But if you check no to both of those, then you are telling them, I want to be regarded as a national for this application, passport, book, or card only. Outside agencies and whatever else, that's a different thing for you. Now, number 11, this is about you. It says, have you ever been married? Yes or no? If yes, complete the remaining items in number 11. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. If not, the second part of number 11 is still a factor for you. So have you been or are a U.S. citizen? They're asking you. So for this particular purpose, though you have it, you do not have to declare it here. So no. The opposite of yes for U.S. citizen is a national or a state citizen. Then the rest of the marriage stuff, blah, blah, blah. This question here is not about for your spouse. Okay. If they were going to be technically correct, this section should be moved to the very end. All of this questioning should be moved over. That's how it should be done. Some people say this is kind of obfuscation. It's kind of a little sketchy because once again, they're not saying is your wife that or husband. They're saying have you ever been? They're asking you. This question's about you. So this is a little sketchy right here for legal purposes. Okay. Additional contact number, optional. Occupation, NA, not applicable. Why? Because this is a military term. You're not occupied. So understand, guys, when generals and certain military people and Congress people fill this out, they are supposed to. They're under occupation. They have an employer, which is also a military, or this is a commercial term to be employed to make money, usually in the public and commercially. So once again, NA, nothing. Don't put anything in there. They don't need to know it anyway. They already have that information. You don't need to declare it. So height, hair color, eye color, travel plans if you have it, permanent address, rural, free delivery. People go, oh, well, they gave me a hard time about that. And well, then you go like this. You go, oh, right here, it says I can use it. Now, the problem is if you find your actual, which is still in effect, rural free delivery number route for your house, um, they're not going to mail it here anyway. So what does it say? It says complete if P.O. box is listed under mailing address. Why? Because they don't like the P.O. box. It's private. They don't like it. Or if residence, meaning your residence, is different from your mailing address, then do not list a P.O. box here. All right. They don't like it. So they're basically saying you can do one or the other. You can put it here or there, but they really don't like that. They really don't like the P.O. box. So they're trying to tell you politely. So put rural free delivery. Spell out your city, state. So let's say I'm in, I don't know, Texas. So Texas. Why? Now, here's what's nice. They don't have this boxed any longer because that way they were forcing you to put for Texas TX. And that's a federal thing. They have to give you the ability to not use their stuff. That is your remedy. They have to give you. So the open box, if you're going to put Texas, you would put TEX. The 3-digit abbreviation is for the Republic. The 2-digit abbreviation is for the commercial, the public, the de facto, the corporation, the U.S. That doesn't apply to you. Not for this particular scenario, at least if you want to do it this way. Or you can write in Texas real small in here, or just Texas all the way across into the box. Zip code, zeros. Why? Because there's the state of Texas, and then there's Texas state or Texas Republic. The Republic, which is the people, the ground, doesn't have a number on it. Only the corporation, the 2-digit abbreviation, then comes with the zip code. So we don't use the zip code. And you don't have to line it out. That's just me. All right. So emergency contact, you can put your person in here. It's optional. Their information is optional. I would still, no matter what, put all zeros. Screw that. Put this in here. TEX. Houston. Phone number optional. Relationship optional. And then if you ever applied or been issued a U.S. passport or a passport card, if yes, check yes, put your information in, what happened with it, lost, stolen, etc., whatever applies. This is for the book. This is for the card. Now, here's the new section. If your recent passport, book, or card was lost or stolen, I'm pretty sure they added this extra little bit in here because they watched my video, so don't do anything that isn't true. It says you must explain in detail below. Please provide your previous book or card number. Okay, even though you already did it up here, so Department of State is kind of redundant to ask for the book card number. It's literally right here. I know you guys like to save space, so re-edit, get your stuff right, people. You don't have to keep asking for this. It should just say, please include Zoop, the date and location, address, city, state, country of the loss or theft, if known. So this is optional. If you're not sure, then you get to ignore this. Why would they ask that? Because in your book, I don't know about the card, but I know in the book there's a tracking chip, a GPS chip. So if you say you lost it in Rhode Island, but they see that it's literally in your backyard, you may get a knock on the door. Hey, found your card. It's in your backyard. You're lying. You committed a type of perjury here. All right. So don't do crazy things like some people have told me they do, like smashing the back of your old book or just don't do that. Don't rip out the thing. Don't microwave it. Okay. Don't do anything crazy like that. I'm not even telling you that you should declare it lost or stolen. But if it has been, it is what it is. Okay. And it says, please indicate whether you filed a police report and if it is available. Please submit a copy. So if you did file a report, put the report number here, tell them what happened. Okay. If you need more space for your story, continue it on a separate piece or separate sheet of paper. Do not touch anything down here. Nothing, as it says here. Please do not write below this line for issuing office only. Just like certain codes are for the issuing office only, but here it doesn't say anywhere here that we cannot ourselves declare this. Really, any of this. Nowhere in here does it say, but they are so used to putting in information here and here and here. Let them do that. Give the baby their bottle. But here, if you're going to do it as a state citizen and national, you put your 09, that's it. They say you can't do it. Tell them where in here does it say I can't? Where in your manual does it say I can't do just this little part right here? And then have your 8 FAM 505.2 endorsement 09 page printed, and you hit them with the shabam. If they say you can't have an explanatory statement or the rest of the things, say right here it says uh, of this application, unless an explanatory statement is attached. This is my statement. So they understand my particular situation or religion, etc. Okay. That's it. Boom. So that is now the short, condensed version of doing your passport with the new sections that they've added, what each section means, and how you can use it if, and this is not for U.S. citizens, you want to declare yourself as a state citizen and a national or national of the United States or U.S. national or United States national. Oh, before we go, hold on. I did tell you guys that I would show you about the other status that falls underneath us. See, we're nationals first, but there's another subclass of national. Let's take a look. This is where a lot of the government agencies get it wrong because they think there's only one type of national. And they're like, you're not from Guam or Samoa. So the American government here, they're taking care of us first by saying, look, you guys are the first nationals. You guys are the non-citizen nationals of the United States. That's you guys. But because there is the Guam and Samoa ones, they fall underneath this. So we're first. We get this title, but there's a class underneath this. So when they apply, their birth certificate will tell the person Not only are they, but that they're these people are a type of national and they fall as a subcategory under the non-citizen national. So let's prove that. Okay. So we're going to go to 8 FAM 301.1-1. Should be letter B, I believe. So once again, 8 FAM 301.1. Yes, leave the site. Okay, so once again, in their foreign affairs manual, I'm only showing you guys what their books say. This isn't me making it up. This isn't, me. All right. So once again, and just so you guys understand, I'm going to have the chat read this if I can. Okay, I can. Let's see here, but I have to make sure that you guys can hear it. So let me turn on the sound. Okay, so work with me, bear with me. I'll cover all of this.
U.S. citizenship may be acquired either at birth or through naturalization subsequent to birth. U.S. laws governing the acquisition of citizenship at birth embody two legal principles. 1. Jus soli, the law of the soil, a rule of common law under which the place of a person's birth determines.
So this is Latin, and jus means jurisdiction or law. Soli is where we get the word soil from. So it's law of the soil. Why would they say this? Because Americans are on the soil. We're not in the water maritime U.S. corporation jurisdiction. You have a land birthright claim, which falls under common law, connected to constitutional law, private law, God's law, natural law, not water. They tell you these things because they have to. There's a difference there. By law, they have to show you a difference in the jurisdictions. But some of them look so much, or even are identical in appearance or topography, but they're different. Once again, and I've had people, even former students, debate me on this. The U.S. government does not operate under the U.C.C. They operate under the Constitution. And in the GPO style manual, they do not use capitis dimitio maxima, which is a loss of rights in the capitalization or the topography, the appearance of the all caps name, conspicuous format. They don't use it. It says it right in their book. But the states do. The state of Florida, the state of Wisconsin, the state of California, they do. Not California State, not Wisconsin State, not Florida Republic, Texas, they don't use it. That's private. But the state, the corporate side of it, they do.
Determines citizenship. In addition to common law, this principle is embodied in the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and the various U.S. citizenship and nationality statutes, and 2. Jus sanguinis, the law.
Once again, just, that means the law in Latin. Sanguinis, sanguini, bloodline. That means bloodline. Okay?
Law of the bloodline, a concept of Roman or civil law under which a person's citizenship is determined by the citizenship of one or both parents.
So the federal government acknowledges that this is a thing that they should have too. If one of your parents, this is why if you check off mom or dad being a U.S. citizen, they have to make you under Roman concept civil law a U.S. citizen, which is different than somebody who is a national born on the soil. Those are different things. So they're using part of this. Okay, let's keep going.
Parents. This rule, frequently called citizenship by descent or derivative citizenship, is not embodied in the U.S. Constitution.
This is why, though some people are mad about this, this is why Trump was like, I'm gonna get rid of this. You weren't born here, you're not a real U.S. citizen. That's why he was able to kind of fudge around with that. because it's not protected in the U.S. Constitution. It wasn't originally in there, even though the founding fathers themselves were not born here. But it is what it is. We work with what we got. That's what she said.
Constitution, but such citizenship is granted through statute. As U.S. laws have changed, the requirements for conferring and retaining derivative citizenship have also changed.
Okay.
B. National versus citizen.
So for those people who don't know, and you keep hearing these cocksuckers out here, there's no such thing as a national. That doesn't apply to you. The government seems to think so and talk about it. I don't see your states doing this. Zing to the states. The government does. The government has to. States don't have to. Why? Because they want you to operate as a U.S. citizen. Why? Because then they can tax you, ticket you, tow you. They have full control over you. You are the U.S. citizen's little bitch. As a national, you are their superior, all of them. Do you literally not know that as a national or a state citizen, you overstand the government, you overstand the states, but you switch. And when you switch to a citizen in that moment or event, you have waived your rights as a national. They're still there, but you are not in national capacity. You can go from hero to punk bitch. Your choice. But let's see why. Let's learn. Let's learn why and what it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Probably not, but let's go.
While most people and countries use the terms citizenship and nationality interchangeably, U.S. law differentiates between the two.
So they're saying in the U.S., citizenship and nationality are not the same thing. This is where some of these government agencies get it the fuck wrong. And later on in about 2 or 3 more paragraphs, I'll prove it and you'll understand why. Once again, shot goes out to the Department of State for updating this code right here to the correct one. They also could include in here, let me think, let me make sure before I say this. They could technically include 8 U.S.C. 1401A, birthright as a national, because you get national and citizen. So they could include that. They don't have to. It would be technically overkill, but if they want to be thorough, they could. But I'm just happy that they watched my video on this and got the code right, because they were wrong. That literally, if somebody was a dick, you guys could have sued the government over this right here for providing the wrong information. This is why they have to have it right, whether they like what I'm doing or not. But I like to think most of them do like what I'm doing. All right. I've heard positive information through we'll just say somebody in the back channel with access to certain federal officers and agents who've told me that they know who I am and they stand by what I'm doing. But some of them might also be clandestine and not like it, because there are elite and cabal, and they're the ones who are against the United States of America, and they are traitors. And yet some of them are against the United States, pretending to be one of us, but they're really foreign by law. But anyway, we'll leave the cloak and dagger stuff alone. Let's just keep going.
Unclassified.
Okay. All right. So.
Unclassified, U.
All right. So that's what you're going to do? Going to play games? All righty. So let's see here. Stop. And we'll start here. Read aloud.
B. National versus citizen. While most people and countries use the terms citizenship and nationality interchangeably, U.S. law differentiates between the two. Under current law, all U.S. citizens are also U.S. nationals, but not all U.S. nationals are U.S. citizens. The term national of the United States, as defined by statute.
So what does that really mean? They always talk kind of backwards. So it says under U.S. law, current law, all U.S. citizens are also U.S. nationals. So all of those cocksucking, whatever the muckety mucks out there who don't believe it, there's no such thing. Even your dumbass, I wish I could take it away from you personally, is also a national. But it says there are some nationals that are not U.S. citizens. This is a double entendre. This means there's two meanings to this. Because, first of all, this means that if you decide you want to be just a national and not a citizen, you have that as a right. But there are also a subclass of nationals that do not have the ability to claim U.S. citizenship. So let's go on and prove that. Here we go.
Statute INA 101 A 22 8 U.S.C. 1101 A 22 includes all citizens of the United States and other persons who owe allegiance to the United States but who have not been granted the privilege of citizenship.
So let's break that down. So they're saying under 8 U.S.C. 1101 A 22, they're saying in that code it includes all citizens. So guess what? If we already talked about the national and the U.S. citizen, what do you mean all? So there's more types of citizens. And then it says there are also which would also be like federal citizens. Okay, that's also included in there. But then it says, and other persons who owe allegiance to the United States, but who have not been granted the privilege of citizenship. So this statement right here, this is where the government, some government agencies, their legal departments are shit-tastic. They get it wrong. Acceptance agents get it wrong. You're not a national. This is where they get it wrong. It says it right here. Other persons who owe allegiance, but have not been granted the privilege of citizenship. So who are they? We're gonna find that out right now.
Citizenship. 1. Nationals of the United States who are not citizens owe allegiance to the United States and are entitled to the consular protection of the United States when abroad.
That's us. Okay, they're talking about us right now. Check it out.
Abroad, and to U.S. documentation, such as U.S. passports with appropriate endorsements. They are not entitled to voting representation in Congress and, under most state laws.
So we as nationals, if you are just operating as a national and you're not entertaining your U.S. citizen side, and this is what the guy at the post office told me, you cannot vote for the big things in Congress, the president, etc. You are not entitled. Nationals are not entitled. But you have a citizenship side, your ens legis, by law, 8 U.S.C. 1101A, 22A and B, to be either one. You can switch hats. Your national side is you as a Native American. You are private. You are above the government. We the people. You are the changers and creators of the Constitution, protected by God, inalienable rights, private law, common law. When you switch from that to being a U.S. citizen, you have waived all of that to be a U.S. citizen. Punk bitch. Excuse me. A little something in the throat. But that's fine as long as you know what it is and you use it as you see fit. You didn't know you had both. This section proves it. We're done. We're done here. All those people wanted to put my name in their mouth. I got something just, yeah. This proves it even more so. And I was right since day one. So double your money and make it stack, player. Told them since day one. That's why I stood my ground. They are not entitled to voting representation in Congress. They're not. And under most state laws are not entitled to vote in federal, state, or local elections except in their place of birth. So some of this we can, which is basically only local. It says or local elections except in the place of their birth. But for the federal and state, you're not entitled. You're not entitled to vote in the federal or state. And then you got the comma and or some places they may say, yeah, you can't even vote for that here. But generally, you can vote locally. Why? Because some of those local elections are for public offices. And you said you were private. You said you're national. You're private.
State laws are not entitled to vote in federal, state, or local elections except in their place of birth. See 7 FAM 012 and 7 FAM 1300 Appendix B Endorsement 09.
Did you hear that? They are calling it out. They watched my videos. They added this in. I said it since day one. Endorsement code 09 is your standing, not status. Status is something dead. Your U.S. citizenship is a status. You have a standing. A real man stands on the land. The red, rooty sand in which he stands and the red blood that he bleeds red. This proves it. We're done. Thanks for playing. They covered the code. And even for some of my previous students now doing their own thing, here's the correct code. It's not interchangeable. The national is a real thing. Let's keep going. Come on, man. I'm not new to this. I'm not serving you guys gobbledygook or tiddlywinking. I could go for some tiddlywinks, though, in all actuality. But anyway, I said tiddlywinks, which reminds out of the gutter. Actually, that was a game if you're old enough to remember. Holy, I barely remember them, so I know most of you guys have never even heard of the game Tiddlywinks. But anyway, let's keep going because we're about to wrap this up and prove what I just said, all of it together.
09. 2. Historically, Congress, through statutes, granted U.S. non-citizen nationality to...
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now they're using the term U.S. non-citizen nationality. What did the other one say? Non-citizen U.S. national. Now, this may seem like semantics to you, but the government pays close attention, or at least they ought to, or at least I do, to the terminology. This is a phrase. This phrase has standing in law. There is a difference between a non-citizen U.S. national and a U.S. non-citizen national. They're not the same things. But this is the type of people where they were talking about up here where it says, and other persons who owe allegiance to the United States, but who have not been granted the privilege of citizenship. Now, this number 2 has slightly changed. But so this is not the people that they're really talking about. But for history, let's just get through that part so we can get to 3. And this is where we're going to prove it.
Unclassified, U.
Oh, again, really? Okay, let's see. Down here at B. Close out. Start reading from here, please.
Historically, Congress, through statutes, granted U.S. non-citizen nationality to persons born or inhabiting territory acquired by the United States through conquest or treaty. At one time or other natives and certain other residents of Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Philippines, Guam, and the Panama Canal Zone were U.S. non-citizen nationals.
Okay, so what they're saying is they had been brought in. These people now all get it. Virgin Islands, U.S. citizenship. Puerto Rico, U.S. citizenship. Philippines, which is probably where my baby mama is trying to run to. Cocksucker. U.S. citizenship. Guam, Panama Canal. This has changed. That's why I said historically through statute. So these people all now do not qualify because they get citizenship. So now the statement here, other persons who owe allegiance to the United States, but who have not been granted citizenship, does not apply to them. So who left does it apply to?
C 7 FAM 1120 and 3, under current law,
So now, under current law, let's talk about the other types of nationals that fall underneath the terminology non-citizen U.S. national on the passport.
Only persons born in American Samoa and Swains Island are U.S. non-citizen nationals.
Okay, there you have it. If you're born in Samoa or Swain Islands, you are then referred to as a U.S. non-citizen national. But once again, okay, this is different than, let's see, DS-11 online PDF. What does it say? Where's my pen? Right here. Non-citizen national of the United States. The other terminology said U.S. non-citizen national. These two terms are not the same. But what happens is the government's like, well, we're not going to make a whole special section just for 8 people in Guam and Samoa. We're going to lump them underneath this as a type of non-citizen national of the United States. Just like underneath the term citizen falls federal citizen and what is the other one? Green card holders or anybody who's essentially a citizen, you fall underneath this type. Anybody's a U.S. non-citizen national falls underneath the term non-citizen national, the subcategory. So that's what you call it. So this is a subcategory of this. So we state citizens and nationals, which are essentially the same thing, they're interchangeable. The only difference between the terminology state citizen and national is that if you call yourself a state citizen, you're saying I'm local to just the state of Florida, then you'd be a state citizen. If you're like, I belong to all of the states in the republic, that's where the term national comes from. So they really don't even use this. It's old school. You should know about it. They just go by national, the private sector. This is us. This is one of the ways they identify us. A subcategory of us is Guam and Samoa, which is a U.S. non-citizen national. Once again, here's how they refer to us, the U.S. national. Even here, non-citizen U.S. national. This is us. The Guam and Samoa fall underneath that. U.S. non-citizen nationals, U.S. national or non-citizen U.S. national. Essentially, right here, the non-citizen part cancels because you're not a citizen. So if you're not a citizen, then it, like math, it crosses out. Not a citizen, like I could be called a non-white. I'm a non-white black. Do you get it? So what am I really? Well, if I'm a non-white, even though I do identify as a older white guy with really short shorts and high socks driving a Corvette, that's what with great credit, that's what I identify as. That's how you guys say it, right? So if I identify as a non-white black, then I'm not a white, and that just leaves a black, even though I'm a Native American. You get it? Good. So that's it, guys. That's how you do the passport. That's the update to the information and the forms and the files and the online stuff. All right. As always, this is not for U.S. citizens, though they are welcome to join class. This is education and entertainment purposes only, not to be construed as the final fact. Do your own research, reading, et cetera, et cetera. And you too will be successful at what you're doing. Now, anybody has additional information that they can and or want to send me about what they know about the standing of being a national, what privileges and benefits come along with it, as long as it's not anything sketchy or illegal, willing to take a look. Make sure you can vet it. Um, so feel free to contact me. But once again, nothing considered national security. Don't want, nope, don't want any of that. I do know that there are some agents and officers out there who can share certain information. So if you're one of them, you feel free to share. Email me. I would love to know. Matter of fact, take it a step farther. If there's some stuff you want me to know, but you don't want me to necessarily put it on the video, let me know that. I know tons of stuff I can't make videos on. But in general, if you guys, and if you know, if any of you guys out there also know any other tips, tricks, and techniques to help the average American patriot, supporter of the Constitution, supporter of our government and the three-letter agencies out there who are for the American people, none of the clandestine crap, do not tread on me. Let me know. Email me, contact, reach out. Because we're not sleep at the wheel anymore. We're always watching. We're awake now. We're in the game. Thousands are joining daily. And we're being watchful for threats against our Constitution. Because if America falls, good people, the world will fall. They know this. Why do you think they put crap in your food? And oh, for more of that, watch me on Badwolf Unrestricted, my other YouTube channel. I'll go into detail on some goodies over there. But just understand this. We're looking and keeping a sharp American eagle's eye out for threats, domestic and foreign. God bless America. Take care of yourselves. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a great day.